And I'm really excited to be here with you all today. My name is Ranger Kahawis, and I have my coworker, Ranger Callia, with me today. And we're coming to you live from Great Smoky Mountains National Park, most visited national park out of all the national park units. We had over, I think, 12.5 million visitors recently in this last year, despite COVID. And we are also one of the most, I keep saying one of them. We are the most biodiverse national park out of all the units as well. So we have over 1,500 flowering plants here. We have over 100 different tree species. And my really favorite one is that we are the salamander capital of the world. So we have the most species and the most abundance out of anywhere else in the whole world, with several species being endemic or only occurring here in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. So we really work really hard to protect all that biodiversity, but then also providing education like we are today to you all, just so everybody knows, because it's really hard to protect things if we don't know about them. And we know today that we have over 20,000 species of different mammals and plants and different fungi and bacteria and all of those kinds of things that are known and cataloged. But we think that there's probably about 60,000 more species that we have no idea about. So we have a lot of scientists here in the park doing a lot of research on everything that we have here. And we thought that maybe we would start with a little video that I created last year, right at the beginning of COVID. We were doing a school group of students who wanted to just see different places in the park. And I thought that might be a little fun because I just picked a few of my very favorite places that are here in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. We have over 500,000 square acres, so it's really hard to choose my favorite. I had really high hopes and expectations, or just a lot of, I don't even know. My supervisor she had to reel me back in because I had these really crazy plans to hike 20 miles in one day and show everybody all of my favorite places. But she's like, no, you should narrow that down and maybe pick 4 or 5. So I thought that'd be really cool to just show you some of the really amazing places that we have here in the Smokies. Perfect. Hi, my name is Kahawis, and I'm an AmeriCorps member serving at Great Smoky Mountains National Park as an environmental education assistant. I am standing here at Newfound Gap, where the park was dedicated in 1934 by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This temperate rainforest encompasses over 500,000 acres of land and water in both North Carolina and Tennessee, and is the most visited national park in the United States. Great Smoky Mountains was named after the Cherokee word Chickahominy, which means land of blue smoke. And today we're going to be visiting some of my favorite places in the park. So let's get started.
Cove is one of the most visited areas of the park. Visitors can explore historic structures such as cabins, churches, and a gristmill. You may see white-tailed deer, turkeys, black bears, and enjoy gorgeous mountain scenery or take a leisurely bike ride around the Loop Road. Cove was a busy place even before the park was established. Before the Europeans settled in the valley, Cherokee Indians traveled through the area to hunt the abundant deer, elk, bison, and bears. The first European settlers arrived in the Cove in the early 1820s. They quickly built log homes, barns, corn cribs, smokehouses, established a Baptist and Methodist church, while also clearing the land for farming. These historic structures are managed and maintained by the park. I hope you enjoyed sunrise at Keats Cove Loop. Next is my next favorite spot, Purchase Now. Hey everyone, we finally made it up to the Appalachian Highland Science Learning Center, also known as the Purchase. This house on 535 acres was donated in 2001 by Boyd Gilmore and Catherine McNeil. They envisioned their property being used for their scientific research and education. We use this house to host scientific researchers who visit the park, and we use this property to hold science-based education programs for grades 6 and up involving salamanders, soils, terrestrial macroinvertebrates, and more. This is one of my favorite places because I love leading education programs with these amazing views. enjoyed this time at Purchase Knob. Next, we're heading to my favorite waterfall, Ramsay Cascades. Welcome to the Ramsay Cascades Trailhead. We're going to hike 4 miles up to a waterfall in the Greenbrier area of Tennessee. We found something really cool over here, so follow me. This is what we call rock chart. It's a special kind of lichen that we call indicator species. The indicator species tells us that we have good air quality in the area. Ramsay Cascades is the tallest waterfall in the park and one of the most spectacular. Water drops 100 feet over a rock outcropping and collects in a small pool where numerous well-camouflaged salamanders can be found. The trail to this waterfall gains over 2,000 feet in elevation over its 4-mile course, and the 8-mile round-trip hike is considered strenuous in difficulty. The last 2 miles pass through old-growth Cove hardwood forest with large tulip trees, basswoods, silver bells, and yellow birches. It's been a long day of exploring Great Smoky Mountains National Park, but I have one final place to show you. We are standing at the highest peak in the park at 6,643 feet in elevation, known as Clingman's Dome or in Cherokee Kuwait, the Mulberry Place. Surrounding this area is one of the rarest ecosystems in the southern Appalachians, known as the Speedbird Forest. That area is home to several endemic species occurring nowhere else in the world: the fruit-fur moss spider, the red-cheeked salamander, and Rugel's redwood. Clingman's Dome is one of my favorite places in the park on a clear evening. Follow me up to the deck and I'll show you why.
Perfect. Thank you, Ranger Callia. I know it was really, really laggy. It just seems to happen, I think, when we play videos through Zoom. But that video is on YouTube if you're interested in watching it and maybe not so laggy. Oh goodness, sorry. So I'm just thinking that now we're gonna play Bear Jeopardy, and we can try to make this as interactive as possible. So Ranger Callia, she will just share her screen, and as we click on the different point values, then you can just type in the chat and type in the answer if you think that you know it, and just keep track of your own points, and then we can kind of see who has the most points at the end, or it could just be for fun too. There's a lot of bear facts on there, so we'll learn a lot about the black bears here in Great Smoky Mountains. Perfect. Thank you, Ranger Callia. So we'll just do a little like introduction. I wish I could sing the Jeopardy intro. Hello. Oh, this is so exciting to have people from all over, and I wish I could see. But okay, so maybe we will just run this through, and we'll just, Ranger Callie, would you just want to pick the point values and then I can read them out loud? Okay. So this is a little difficult. But I guess I can pick the points, and then as I read them, then whoever can, they can just answer them. So we can start with Smokies Bears for 100. Ooh, okay, this one, nice. So name a place a bear made den in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And I think, oh, nice, a cave, a thicket. Oh, I'm seeing some chats, I see. Oh, we have a raised hand as well, a thicket. So I don't know if you're able to unmute the participant who raised their hand. But a tree, a cave. All right, the responses started coming in slower, so I think we can reveal the response. And yeah, everybody was right. So bears, they will den in like really high up into trees, like 30 to 40 feet high in ground, above the ground in standing hollow trees. But they can also, rest in large piles of down trees or brush. And sometimes they'll even build really cozy nests with sticks and grass. So everybody who said that, you're correct. All right, and we'll pick the next one. I think that I'll just probably go through, I'll just pick all of the 100s. So maybe a year in the life. Do only Smokies bears nest on trees or other bears also? So here in the Smokies, we actually only have the black bears. So I think Smokies bears are a little strange. Actually, I'm not going to give away that. I think I was just about to tell you all the answer. But I think not only Smokies bears nest in trees. I think maybe other places around the country, they might as well. Oh, I see. Okay. This is the time of year that bears eat an immense amount of berries. Yeah, so I see. We're fall and summer. Summer. Spring, fall before they hibernate. Spring. Oh, yes, I knew that. Yeah, so we have all different answers. And this one, it can be it's a little tricky. But if we reveal the correct response, it is early summer. So that's like when all of the berries are ripe here, and you can find other different, or the bears picking at all of the different types of berry bushes along the trail. Sometimes we'll even find like different colors of bear scat along the trail because they just ate so much berries. They're not very high in calories, so bears will eat a lot of them. Perfect. I'm gonna close this. Okay, let's do bare bones. Ooh, nice. So true or false, are black bears good swimmers and climbers? True. Yes. I'm seeing all trues. Yes. All right, shall we reveal the answer? You're all absolutely correct. It's true. Bears are really good swimmers and they'll often get in the water to search for fish. And black bear cubs, they take really easily to the water. They start to learn to swim really early on in their life. And this is one of the reasons that we say not to run and climb a tree away from the bear, because they can climb a a tree up to 30 to 40 feet in just a matter of seconds. They're really, really good climbers. Perfect. And we just have a little picture of a black bear over there by the water. Bear myth or fact. And this one would just be a myth. Is this a myth or is this a fact? So myth or fact. Bear cubs are already as large as an adult German Shepherd dog when they are born. Oh, we have some myths, some facts, some false. Myth here about the size of a walnut.
You could unmute, Marianne. I see you have your hand raised.
So we had a lot of myths, some facts, some false. Myth, their size of the walnut myth. And I was actually really surprised to learn this as well. If we reveal the answer, it is actually a myth. So bear cubs are really only the size of a soda can when they are born in the den. They're like really, really, really small. And for some reason, I had in my mind that they were really big. Even our adult bears, they're really not as big as a lot of people think that they are. Perfect. So we had some correct. Let's do, let's go back to the bare bones for 200. Oh, nice. So do bears have a better sense of smell or a sense of sight? Lots of smells. Yeah. Oh, both. Oh, nice. Smell, smell. So yes, you were all correct who said smell. Our bears have a better sense of smell than they do sight. Although they do still, they don't have like really bad sight, but they have relatively poor sight. They can smell certain scents from up to 2 miles away. So that's about 100 times greater than ours. And they even have a better sense of smell than bloodhounds, which are, you know, really famous for their sense of smell. They say that a black bear can smell one single M&M from like a mile away. I don't know how they tested that, but I've heard that several times. Their smell is really, really incredible, which is why we ask people, you know, to put their food up while they're camping and not to sleep with food in their tent, and just to really, really be careful about what you're bringing out, just because they smell really, really good. Alrighty, and we'll do, let's just go in order. We'll do a year in the life. Yeah. So this is the time of year that bears in the Smokies enter into their dens. So we're really just looking for a season. Fall, winter, 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 fall or winter. Sweet. So we have lots of falls, lots of winters. Linda, did you want to unmute?
You could ask your question, Linda. Your mic's unmuted.
Oh, winter. Okay, I see. Yeah, so the correct answer is early winter or late fall. So I would say that you are all correct, even those who said fall, because I think you said both fall or winter. So the bears in the Smokies are unusual in that they will den high above the ground in those trees during their hibernation. So there's a little bit of talk between scientists about whether or not they're true hibernators, because although they do sleep for long periods of time, sometimes they only den for short periods of time. If they get disturbed or if there's warm weather, then they'll wake up early and they'll go out looking for food. So we don't really know if it's more of a torpor or really a true hibernation. All right, and we'll get specific to Smokies bears in 200. Ooh, nice. So how big in pounds are the biggest black bears in Great Smoky Mountains National Park? And if the answers fall within about 50 pounds of either side of that range, then it will be correct. Ooh, 350 pounds. Ooh, 900. 500. 600. 650. Oh, we have a wide range of guesses here. I like this. 850. 600. 750. Ooh. All right, I think let's reveal the answer. Yeah, so everybody who said over 600 pounds or 600 pounds, you're correct. So those are our biggest black bears during their fall weight. Usually an average bear is really not big. Like I said, it usually averages between 125 to 200 pounds. So during the fall, they put on like, oh my goodness, like 400 pounds of weight because they're just trying to keep that fat and keep that warmth. I can't even imagine. They have to eat so much food. All right, and we'll just do the last 200. Ooh, myth or fact? Black bears are very aggressive and will often attack people. Is this a myth or is this a fact? Myth, myth. Ooh, only when they are in danger. Myth. Sweet. Yes, let's do the reveal. Oh, they want our food, not us. Yeah, so it's actually a myth. Our black bears here are usually really shy and they're not aggressive unless they start to become habituated to our human food. So when they get a taste of that food, then they want more of it. And if they don't get it, then that's usually when they will attack people. They will usually do like this bluff charge before they actually attack. And the best way to stay safe is to keep your distance and to properly store your food in your trash. We call a lot of those bears trash bears because that's really all that they want. They're gonna like, we have a lot of bear-proof dumpsters. Yeah, so we just want to make sure that we're keeping our food stored properly. right. Yeah, let's do the bare bones. Okay, next. Name a primary food source for black bears in the Smokies. Berries, fish. Berries. Yeah, we talked a little bit about those berries already. Fish. Ooh, salmon, fish, fish. Berries and fish. Yeah, it seems like everybody's kind of on the same wavelength on this one with the berries and the fish. So let's do a reveal. So they can eat fish, although we don't really have salmon here in the Smokies. But their primary food source are insects, small mammals, berries, and then mast, all the acorns and nuts. And I learned recently that when bears are attacking and going after like a beehive, they're not actually going for the honey. They're actually going for the grub and the larva of those bees. It has a lot of protein. So different kinds of small mammals, so that can be like squirrels and probably rabbits, and really they're opportunists, so if they find anything that's dead, then they will eat it. So that can just be anything that they stumble across. Sometimes we have some, like we have invasive wild boars here, and all the different types of mammals. Really, and that's really why we also say not to play dead, because they are opportunists, and if they think that you're dead, then they will try to eat you. All right. Let's just go to a year in the life. So this is the time of year that bears rely heavily on insect larvae, ant pupa, and grubs for food, since plant material is scarce. And also this is another season. Winter, early spring, winter, fall. Late fall, late fall. Yeah, so let's reveal, and this answer is actually early spring. So this is like, right before all of the plants really start to bloom, and the berries aren't ripe yet. They already had their mast in the late fall. So they're just coming out of their dens, and they're really, really hungry, but there's not a lot of material for them to eat. So that's when they'll really rely on that insect larva and, going after those bee larvae and things like that. Awesome. So I'll go to Smokies Bears. Oh, nice. So how many black bears are estimated to live in Great Smoky Mountains National Park? And we'll accept answers within or below about 100. So 600. Ooh, 1,500, 1,500, 500. All right, any more guesses? Ooh, 1,500. All right, well, let's see the correct response. About 1,500. So we have roughly about 800 square miles in the park, and we have about 2 bears per square mile. Although here on the North Carolina side, we don't see them very often because there's not a lot of big cities on this side of the mountain, and they're not habituated to a lot of food, so they still act like wild bears. Awesome. Yeah, a few of you got it right on the money. Yes, bear myth or fact. Okay, myth or fact. American black bears are called black bears because all of them have dark black fur. No, myth. Myth, myth. Yeah, because some are brown. This is a trick question. Yeah, it kind of is a trick question. If we reveal the correct response, like one of our participants said, Miss Amy, she said myth because some of them are brown. So we can see in this image right here, there's kind of this cinnamon brown fur. And in parts of the state and parts of the country, a lot of them are black, but then some of them can even be blonde. So they're not all just black fur. Perfect. I think everybody got that one right. All right, and bare bones, perfect. Oh, this is a good one. How fast can a black bear run over short distances? And we're talking about in miles per hour. Ooh, 30 to 40 miles an hour, 40. Ooh, 40, 70, 35. All right, any more guesses? 30. Yeah, all right, so let's reveal. 35 miles an hour. And this is exactly why it's advised not to run from a black bear. We like to say instead, do not turn your back to them and just back away slowly. And if they still start to be aggressive, then you want to get really big and start to yell at them and make noise and clap your hands. Some people like to bring like little bells along with them on their backpack, just so it's kind of making noise as they're walking, and you don't run up and startle a bear. It's just to make yourself known because they can run so fast. Perfect. Can you blow a whistle? I think certainly, yeah, people certainly do have whistles, and just anything that's a loud noise that will startle them and scare them, that will usually make them just run away from you. So this next one is the full moon in this month is sometimes called the bear moon because it is the general time that black bear cubs are born. April. Oh, okay, I see April, June, August, April, March. Oh, yeah, we have a big variety here. So do we want to reveal, Callia? It's actually January. So bears will actually mate in June or July, but delay their implantation. And then they don't start developing that cub until it's their denning season. So in January is when a lot of those bear cubs will be born while they're in their den or while they're hibernating. All right, so we'll do Smokies bears. Oh, this is a good one. What can people do to protect bears while visiting Great Smoky Mountains National Park? So what are some things that we can do to help them, but also can't do that will help them too? Yeah, not destroying their habitat. Don't feed them. Secure your food. Keep your food covered. Yes, don't feed them. Yeah, I love those. Don't feed the bears. So we'll do a review. And then we have a list of a bunch of different things that you can do. So a lot of them, do not feed them, do not try to pet them. Yes. So we want to keep our distance. Do not approach within 50 yards or any distance that disturbs them. So really we try to say if a bear or an animal turns to look at you, then you're too close. That they were able to notice you and that they took the time to look at you. It means that you're too close to them. Don't feed the wildlife. Do the right thing and secure your food and make sure you pack out all of your garbage with you. And here in the park, we have a lot of bear-proof garbage containers. Yes, throw away trash, secure food, and teach kids about it. Yes. Yeah, I love that. And especially with students, we like to tell them, like bring this home and tell your friends. Like education goes a long way. So do not let the bears approach you. This is when you're going to make the loud noise. Look big, put your arms in the air, and then just back away slowly. And at all of our campsites, we provide food storage cables so that you're able to put up your bags with the food into the air where the bears are not able to get it. And you can also report bear activity, especially if they're being a little aggressive or you see them doing things that maybe they shouldn't be doing. You can report that and we'll start to close those backcountry campsites and inform our law enforcement or our wildlife rangers. Yes. I know. I always when I see the babies and I see like young animals, oh, they're so cute, but they're not. Yeah, exactly. They're not cuddly and they're not meant for us to cuddle, which makes me sad. Okay, bear myth or fact. Ooh, so black bears are capable of denning for over 5 months without eating, drinking, or using the bathroom. Ooh, fact. I see a fact. Myth. We have a few facts. Ooh, myth. Looks like we're tied right now in differences of opinion between myth and fact. Myth. Oh, I see myth is winning now. All right, any other guesses? All right, let's see the reveal. It's actually a fact. So while those bears are denning, they're not really moving and they're not really trying to wake up or go to the bathroom. So medical research is really interested in how bears are able to not have, toxic waste build up into their body and into their muscles, and then also how they're able to keep their bone density and their muscle strength while they're inactive for so long. So there's a lot of research happening based on just this fact that they do not use the bathroom or anything for 5 months while they're denning. Oh dang, we're on our last row. Okay, so bare bones, 500. Ooh, what do biologists and researchers look at to know how old a bear is? Ooh, paws, the claw. Ooh, we have teeth. Teeth or claws. Teeth. The teeth, the claw, or fur. Yeah, so if we do the reveal, some of you were actually right. So it is the teeth. So a lot of our researchers and our park wildlife, they'll actually pull one of the teeth and they're able to count the rings around this tooth. And they can even tell what year that a bear had a cub that they were, if it's a female, they can tell which year, at what age they were when they had their first cub, and every year following that. So it's really, really interesting. And it's really just this part called the cementum, and it adds a new layer each year, which is how they're able to count the rings and tell the age. Perfect. All right, so a year in the life. In order to have enough fat stores to den during the winter, bears will often eat how many calories per day during the fall? So answer will be accepted if it falls within, let's say like 1,500 calories. So, and this is a hint, 2,000 calories a day is the recommended diet for an average adult human. So we're thinking about how many calories will a bear eat during the fall to try to get enough fat stores. 500, ooh, 20,000, 6,000, 25,000, 9,000, 6,000, ooh, 15,000. Yeah, we're really shooting for those high numbers because, like I said, they average between 125 to about 200 pounds during the spring, but then in the fall, somehow they can become up to 600 pounds. All right, do you have any more guesses? I should think it's around 100. Oh, I see 1,000. All right, well, let's do the reveal. And yeah, some of you were correct. It's 15 to 20,000 calories a day. And between the summer to the winter, sometimes bears will double their weight. So they're eating, all of those berries, all of those mammals, all of those acorns, and they're just trying to get all of the calories that they can to make sure they get really, really, fat so they can keep warm. All right. So our last Smokies bears. What is the biggest threat to bears in the Smokies? Humans, climate change, people and vehicles, humans. Oh, fire. Human contact. Fires by humans. Oh, I just seen that one. Humans because climate change and food and trash. Yes, unfortunately, you are all correct. Our correct response is humans, and that can be, not storing our food or our trash properly. When they become habituated to food, they'll often get really aggressive. And then if this happens and they attack a human, often they will have to be euthanized or put down. So this is why the park has replaced garbage cans with bear-proof dumpsters so they're not able to get all of that trash and all of that food. Yeah, everybody was on top of it, unfortunately. So this is the last one, bear myth or fact. Black bears were almost completely gone in North Carolina in the mid 1900s. Is this a myth or is this a fact? Fact. Fact. Yeah, it seems like everybody is thinking this is a fact. And you're all correct. It is a fact. So when the European settlement started expanding, bears were frequently hunted and killed to protect the crops. And then we also started clear cutting and logging these forests, and that quickly eliminated all of the bear habitat. And, you know, there's all of these different factors happening kind of all at the same time. Like the chestnut blight took away really a keystone species here in the Smokies as well as everywhere else. And but thanks to science, Great Smoky Mountains is actually considered a really important sanctuary for black bears. They've made a really remarkable recovery in their population and their range. And this picture here is actually the skin of a large black bear that was killed in about 1931 or 1932. What is the website to see this presentation? Just got home. So this is actually a bear Jeopardy game that we will play for education programs. But we do have a lot of information on our website about, you know, bears and all of the different species that we have here in the park. There's really good videos and things like that if you wanted to look at our Great Smoky Mountains National Park website. And we are
recording it.
Sorry. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking too. We are recording this if anybody wants to go back and look at this. Great quiz, I learned a lot. Perfect. Oh, and this recording will be on the YouTube, as Steve said in the chat. So we still have about 10 minutes. Does anybody have any questions you want to ask us? We can talk about being a park ranger or things in the park, anything that you're thinking of.
Sure, if you have any questions and you'd like to type them in the chat, or if you use the raise hand feature, I'll gladly unmute you and you can ask the question in person.
Callie, do you want to answer some of these questions?
Sure. One of the first ones I saw was from Robin, and they ask any interaction between bears and deer and elk, and yes. So elk were reintroduced into our park in 2013. Before that, they had been extirpated or become regionally extinct in this area. And when we brought them in, we had brought them in from a sanctuary. And so unfortunately for the elk, when they started having little elk babies, they didn't know what predators were like. So they just had them out in the open. And so the bears had a lot of really good lunches and dinners for a while. And when we realized this was happening, we actually relocated bears for a while to keep them away from the elk where they were having their babies. And over years, the elk have learned to go into the woods and find safer places so that their babies don't get eaten by the bears right away. But yes, there are certainly interactions between elk and deer and bears.
Can I add something really quick? So elk do this thing after the calves are born where they will eat all of the placenta and they will lick them clean just so those bears don't smell, you know, that birth of that elk calf. So I thought that was really, really interesting and kind of gross.
Okay, some of the hidden gems within Smoky Mountains. Oh man, there's a lot. We have over 800 miles of trails and I haven't hiked them all yet. My favorite hike, which is not a hidden gem, it's super popular, but if you can come and you can get there early in the day and do it, is Alum Cave to Mount LeConte. You just go through so many different ecosystems, you get excellent views, and if you're my absolute favorites, from Ranger Kahawis' video that we played at the beginning, if you missed it, we can post the link to that later on too. is Ramsay Cascades. It goes through old growth forest, and a lot of the trees, unfortunately, are dying because, you know, invasive species, but some of them are still standing at least. And so you can get to see these really magnificent old growth forest trees. And then you walk along these streams and you get to this beautiful waterfall. Honestly though, gosh, like I feel like everywhere you go is amazing. I love going up near Klingman's Dome to Andrews Bald. Quite a few people don't go out to the Bald. They just go up to the dome and then come back down, but there's a little, I think it's maybe a 2-mile hike out to this beautiful Bald. And especially in the summer, there's a bunch of flowering plants. And so you get beautiful birds and butterflies. And on a nice day, you get really excellent views. And then just this last week, I went kayaking out on Fontana Lake. And so if you like really cold water, but with not a whole lot of boat traffic, that's a really hidden gem that I think a lot of people aren't totally aware of yet.
We had one question. How do you become a ranger? And is there a specific school or class track that one has to take?
Yeah, so I just became a ranger, I think like a month ago. The way that I think it's maybe most efficient to do it maybe is to go through school and get an internship. I did AmeriCorps, and so we have AmeriCorps positions and they're open to anybody of any age above 18. And that is how I got in. But I know that there are certain ways that you can do internships through school and then join a Pathways internship and enter the park that way. Those are the most efficient and effective ways. If you have veteran status, you can apply. And if you have the skills, then you can often get hired for a job that way. Ranger Kahawis, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, and I was really thinking, so Callie and I were education rangers. So we have a lot of experience working with school groups, but it really depends what kind of ranger you want to be. Like if you want to work with wildlife or you want to work with fisheries, we have vegetation management, we have law enforcement. Really, you can do almost any job in the park. We have IT, we have mechanics, maintenance. So really anything that is your specialty and anything that that you're interested and passionate about, you can do in the National Park Service program. And if it's not your favorite to be outside and in all these natural spaces, there's also places you can work like the Statue of Liberty, if you wanted to work like at the Washington Monument, in places that are more populated in more city areas. There's still a lot of options, no matter like based on what your interest is.
We have a question. What is your favorite animal in the park?
This is a really hard one because we have so many different animals here. I think right now, today, at this moment, my favorite animal is the elk calves. They have just been born recently in June, and they are so cute. They are so tiny and they're so awkward. They have these really cute spots all over them, and they make this really tiny little squeaky noise. But my favorite animal changes all the time. I guess it just really depends on the season and what's happening. Yeah, that's a really hard one.
Is there a nice place to lodge inside the park?
So inside the park, we actually only have, I believe, the one lodge, and that is at the top of Mount LeConte that Callie was just talking about. It's about a 5-mile trip up the mountain, but they have beautiful lodges up there. I've only been up there one time, but they have like a dining area, and I think you have to reserve that online. I'm not sure how much it is, but it's really, really incredible, and they have beautiful views there. And then you can walk just a really short distance, and if you wake up early, catch the sunrise over there. And I believe that's the only lodge that we have inside the park.
We do have front country campsites. So if you have a camper or a tent, or even maybe a hammock, if the campsite has good enough trees, you can come and visit us and stay with us that way as well. And then if you visit us on, well, either side, Cherokee or Tennessee, Gatlinburg. There are hotels, so you can camp, or stay lodged right outside of the park as well.
And I just want to mention, last but not least, our park is free. We don't have any fees to enter the park, which is, I think, partly why we are the most visited national park in the entire country. But you have, unlimited access to all nature, all of the different trails. We have over 2,000 miles of streams just here in the park. So there's a ton to see.
Thank you. I thank you very much for being able to present this Zoom and play the fun Bear Jeopardy with us.
Sure. Thank you all so much for participating and playing Bear Jeopardy with us. It was a lot of fun, and I know Ranger Callia and I, we love these kind of sessions, and just to be able to be here with you all from so far away. I think we're really fortunate to be able to connect, even though that there's thousands of miles probably between us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening and a great week ahead.